So welcome everyone to the Power Half Hour. We'll try and keep it to half an hour. Thanks for joining me, Sue and John and Katie. So I thought just to start, I wanted to share today's quote, which you may have read, but worth going into having a little look at it, I'd say. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Great. So John, do you want to read that?
Yeah.
Do you mean to zoom into that, or can you read it? Okay.
No, I can read it. Happiness does not ultimately derive from this world. This world is not designed to make you happy. It is designed to challenge you. And if you believe this world is designed to make you happy, then you are going to get very angry. Because as the years of your life pass, you keep asking, why isn't my life working? Why is this reality always throwing obstacles in my path?
Wow. I chose that. I couldn't resist putting that photo in because we all know that. I don't know if you've ever done computer work, but oh my God, what's just happened? I thought it was quite funny. So idea is to have no expectations about anything, which is easier said than done. But maybe let's just have a look at the little post I put in the email as well. So the truth is that it's really always our expectations that are not being met that makes us unhappy, if we're honest. Even if something goes horribly wrong, someone dies, we lose a job, all kinds of things can go wrong in life. It's actually our expectation of it being somewhere else that makes us unhappy, isn't it? If we're really honest. Oh, that shouldn't be happening. And that resistance creates the movement in our minds and the emotion that we call unhappiness. And of course, the more we expect things to turn out in certain ways, the more we give external circumstances the power to upset us. It seems completely obvious. And yet, for most people, it's not. Probably most people on this planet live this way, with all kinds of expectations, desires, and then a lot of the time they're not going to be fulfilled. And eventually, they're all not going to be fulfilled, because eventually, as the Buddha noted, everything changes. This world is impermanent. That's the doctrine of anicca, they call it in Buddhism, which simply means impermanence. Everything's impermanent. So don't attach to any of it, because if you attach to it, at some point it's going to change, and then you'll suffer because of that attachment or desire. So the second noble truth of Buddhism is that desire or craving, tana as it was called in Pali, is the source of all suffering. And it is as true now in today's world as it was 2,500 years ago when the Buddha noticed this in his society. So you start seeing that nothing much has really changed over human history. The same fundamental desires, fears, the same stuff's going on, but it's just a time period that changes. And now we live in a society that actually encourages this. You think how many adverts you see, or you need this product or service. How many times do you see that? Without this, you're not going to be happy. Without this, you're not going to be safe. That's how products get sold, on desire and fear. And then, of course, we've had the news, which especially recently with COVID has been really, really about engendering fear, hasn't it? A lot of fear that goes on, and that increases your attachment. Now you go, oh, well, in order to be safe, I need to do X, Y, and Z. I need to wear a mask. I need to have a vaccine, and it gets us to take action, which is another form of marketing, right? But it's based on, as the Buddha noted, it's based on an aversion, wanting something not to be. So there's a number of ways the desire plays out. The first one is sense pleasures. So I desire some sensual pleasure. Obviously, sex is a good example, but luxury holidays, delicious meals, these kinds of things that are all about sensory pleasure. That's the first one that a lot of people crave, and that's never ending, because you crave it, you temporarily satisfy it, and then of course you don't have that all the time. It's a very temporary experience. So then you crave it again, and this is how addiction develops. And you're going to get addicted to sense pleasures, keep seeking it, and never really finding the fulfillment, because it's not filling a deeper hole in it. Sense pleasures can never fill the call for meaning in your heart and your soul. And then number two is wanting to be something that you're not. So that's also a form of desire. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'd like another identity. I'd like to be rich. I'd like to be famous. I'd like to be wealthy. I'd like to be popular. If you remember in The Matrix, that the traitor, Cypher, and he goes, well, yeah, I'd like to be an actor, someone important. And that was just a classic, the classic example of this, wanting to be something you're not, and thinking that that's going to give you something, that's going to actually offer you happiness. But all of this, and then wanting something not to be, which is also known as aversion. So, I don't want COVID. Well, I don't want to get sick. Well, I don't want the pain I've got. Well, I don't want to be in a relationship. And so now we have this aversion reaction, which again creates resistance, and there's no happiness. And so in all of this, what your mind is really saying is that I'm not happy as I am. That's really the thing. I'm not happy as I am. I need something or someone external to me to change in order to be happy. And that's the game the mind sets up. And if you keep doing that, then it doesn't matter what actually happens on the level of form. There are people who've had lives of immense luxury and been very unhappy. I remember reading a quote by an emperor of sorts in the olden times. Can't remember who he was. And he says, well, in all of my days, I can count 14 days of happiness. And this guy was the king of the realm, and he had, servants, and he had like a life of luxury. He says, I can only count 14 days of where I actually experienced some happiness. So it's this elusive thing. If you seek it, and it's very, very related to yesterday's quote on the butterfly. Happiness is a butterfly. Because if you keep seeking it, you never find it, because you've set up that game of keeping on seeking and never actually finding. And so what the Buddha noticed was, well, if you can just let this go, the third noble truth was, if you can just let go of the desire, drop the expectations, then that's the key to letting go of suffering. That's the cessation of suffering, to let go of the desire. Which ties in very much with what the Course is saying. The Course is saying nothing in the world is going to really work. Only God is going to work. Only connecting with this inner source and your true self is going to work, and everything else is actually going to disturb your peace. So you'll feel angry, frustrated, disappointed, disturbed in some way, and to get out of that, you simply need to let go of your attachments, let go of what Jesus would call idle wishes, craving, desires. It's all the same thing. Let go of the mental and emotional attachment to those things, because those are the things that make you suffer. When you see that that's so clearly, I'm creating the suffering for myself through these attachments, then the game is over, isn't it? So if you ask yourself what would happen if you completely let go of all your expectations, it might seem a little bit scary at first, because you go, oh, what, who would I be then? But if you can just persevere, which we'll do now in a meditation, through this resistance, which is really just the ego, resisting the freedom and the authentic happiness that come beyond your expectations of what will make you happy, then you can actually get a glimpse of, or maybe actually more than a glimpse, beyond the appearances of the world, to this deeper dimension of love, to the pure formless awareness that is love, that where everything is perfect, where there's no need to desire or expect anything, because you already are that. And that's what all these teachings are pointing to. So whether you take the Buddhist path, or you take A Course in Miracles, or another path, if it's an authentic path, it's going to point you to that deeper dimension of love and help you to connect with it. So any comments or questions on that? Any thoughts, anyone?
I think it's very clear.
Yeah, it's enormously clear, and yet, funnily enough, our society still operates on the premise that what you desire is going to make you happy.
Yeah.
So it's as clear as mud to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Even though it's a 2,500-year-old teaching and truth, but it's to actually live it, to actually drop your expectations is the thing. So the theory is one thing, but to actually do it is quite another. It's another level of application, and obviously it's the application that makes you into a spiritual master or a teacher of God, as Jesus calls it, rather than just the theory. Because we can all read the theory. You can read the theory in 5 minutes. Oh yeah, well I know Buddhism. Do you really? or are you actually applying this? I remember going to one Buddhist meeting. I think I got the guy was pretty new, I think he'd been to 1 or 2 meetings, and he kind of said, I think I got a handle on this. I think I got this sus now. You can just see that the more experienced people just like rolling their eyes going, right. Of course you have. In 1 or 2 meetings you've got a handle on the whole of Buddhist teaching, because it's very deep, and it requires often years of practice to actually apply it. So let's do that now. Should we do a bit of meditation and practice it? Katie, unless you got anything to add?
I thought about the fear of release. That's what I see for myself, and it's because I see it very often in people, and that means I have it in myself and project it outside. That to say, okay, let go of expectations, to look for happiness within, then there's all the guilt is there. It's like it's between me and the happiness. There's a veil.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, and it's just removing the veil. And guilt and pretty much every negative emotion, fear is bound up in this expectation, because the more you expect, the more you fear that your expectation won't be met.
Yeah.
So fear and desire go hand in hand, and underlying all of this is the idea that you are not who you really are, that you're separate from your true self. Which means that there's a guilt. There's a guilt that, well, I actually have separated from love. This is true. This is my substitute self, and I feel guilty for the fact that seeming fact that I've done this. So all of this just perpetuates the ego's thought system. Guilt, fear, desire, expectation. It's all bound into this one thought system that really just obscures our happiness. It's a veil, to say, and that just needs to be let go of by and a good start is to drop your expectations. Say, okay, I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't expect anything to happen, but what I will do is I'm going to stay connected to my true source, to myself, which is this deeper self that is just rooted in happiness. It just is. So if that's your intention, you stay connected to that, then you trust that life will unfold. And that's what today's workbook lesson that I chose to go with this really says. I place the future in the hands of God. So instead of expectation, which is all about the future, you're simply saying, I'm letting those go, and I'm placing the future in the hands of God, or love, or if you want, pure formless awareness. Beyond expectation is that pure presence. And what this is saying is just go there in your mind and stay there, and let go of your expectations and remain in that pure formless awareness, which then brings peace of mind. It brings an underlying happiness no matter what's happening. And the idea that Jesus is trying to punt here is that if you do that, because you're in the right frame of mind, then everything tends to work out better. You don't have all of the dysfunctions of expectation and fear and desire and so on going on. So yeah, a pretty profound lesson and quote. And I think it's all about experiencing it. So shall we do a meditation then, based on this? Yeah, good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to put you on mute. Katie's going to sleep.
It just always looks like that. No. No. Oh, I'm behind he's a wall, and it's too hard for me. I want that sensory pleasure of this.
The cushion.
Yes, not even go right now.
Okay. Well, whatever works for you. All right. So let's start the meditation. I'm just going to put you on mute, Katie. Okay. So just making yourself comfortable. Sitting, standing, stand, feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes, and start off with a nice deep breath in, breathing in through the nose, noticing how the stomach rises, chest rises, subtle flow of air in through the nostrils, clenching the sphincter muscle, which is a muscle used to contract the flow of urine, squeeze the last drops out, lock the energy in that way. Breathe it in, so you're breathing it into your stomach, into your belly button, inflating the belly, clenching the sphincter muscle. Feel the energy rising up your spine, into your heart center. Putting one hand in your heart. And then drawing the energy up the spine, into the crown of your head. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. Another sip of air in, so it's a maximum inhale breath. So you're just going to look at what's going on in your mind, your thoughts and your emotions, physical sensations. Just do a mental and emotional check-in. And if you notice any desires, any expectations at all, these can be subtle. You can expect the weather to be a certain way, and then it's not, and then we suffer on some level. So there's a little grievance going on. Grievances and expectations are co-makers of the world, says Jesus at some point in the course, because the expectation directly justifies the grievance. So just look at any of that. Notice the thoughts, notice the emotions, breathe into them, because they're just energetic entities. They have some kind of life, some kind of presence, even though it's illusory. And if you breathe into them, you create some space, some awareness, then they can just dissipate. You can let them go. So they are really nothing, just ideas, false ideas, just blowing through your mind like clouds on a windy day. So as you exhale, just blow them away with the breeze of your breath. Just exhaling out. Blowing them away into the nothingness they really are. From the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And then just rest here. Notice that there's just awareness. If you let go of all those thoughts, emotions that go with them, there's just awareness. Just pure formless awareness, and you become aware of that. So, the merging of the Son and the Father is just the merging of your source with your mind. You become aware of pure formless awareness as yourself. It's quite simple, but one of our desires and expectations and the fears that go along with them, the fear of not having our expectations met, sabotage that. They're a veil of illusion. It's cast over this pure formless awareness. Just for a few minutes, give yourself a chance just to go beyond the veil, to sink into this deeper awareness. Just breathing nice, deep, slow, rhythmical breaths in and out through your nose. Just observe the breath, movement of the breath, subtle sensations, the breath flowing into the nostrils and flowing out of the nostrils. Observe that subtle sensation of the breath. And in doing that, you bring your mind completely into the present moment. Beyond expectations, beyond desires, lies the truth of your true awareness. Coming to an awareness of that awareness is the goal, is the aim of all spiritual teaching. Staying rooted in that awareness is enlightenment. So there's really nothing better you can do the next couple of minutes than just breathe, relax, observe the breath, be still, and allow this formless awareness to arise in your mind. Remembering that this world is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to challenge you. If you believe this world is designed to make you happy, then you're going to get very angry. Because as the years of your life pass, you keep asking, why isn't my life working? Why is this reality always throwing obstacles in my path? So instead, just practice today, giving it all over. To help you do that, you could say, I place the future in the hands of God. Or if you prefer, I place the future into pure formless awareness. I simply let go of my expectations, my fears, anything related to the future, which keeps the future going in my mind, and I rest in this pure formless awareness. I rest in God. Use whatever language suits you. And there's a peace there. Maybe you notice a peace arising, tranquility beyond expectation and fear. Lies the truth of who you are. So give yourself the gift of experiencing that fully for the next couple of minutes of deep silence. Just breathe, observe your breath, relax, be still, place the future in the hands of God, of your own true awareness. And know that everything is well. The next 2 minutes of deep silence. And if you notice any thoughts arising, especially of the future or the past, but really anything is irrelevant in this context. Just observe it. Know that it's just your mind trying to block your awareness of love's presence, which is where your happiness lies, and dismiss it. With the help of your breath, just exhale, blow it all away, the breeze of your breath, to the nothingness that it really is. Blowing away these clouds and letting the light shine through the blue sky of your pure formless awareness for another minute or so of deep silence. And so just gently coming back from this deep state into awareness of your body and the breath, the senses and the world. On the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises, the chest rises, subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale, just connecting in with your heart space. Noticing your mind. If there's any thoughts, any emotions, particularly about the future going on, just let it go with your breath and say, I place the future in the hands of God, in the hands of love, in the hands of pure formless awareness. Exhale, let it go. Notice how the air flows out of your mouth, chest and the stomach suck back in. All the energy subsiding back down, front channel of your body, coming to rest in your lower stomach and your groin. On the count of 2, noticing the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, feet touching the ground, noticing what you're feeling and touching with your hands. Maybe there's a subtle smell in your nose, a taste in your mouth. Noticing all these things. It's a very calm, detached place. So nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Just observe without attachment, and notice how peaceful it is when you do that. Whatever the sights are, the sounds, open your eyes on the count of 3, look around, noticing what you're hearing, noticing what you're seeing, but without any judgment or mental interpretation. And notice that whatever it is that you see, there's just this awareness. It's the same awareness that's guiding you. And so stay rooted in that awareness for the rest of the afternoon and evening to help you do that. Send you a breath break and remind yourself of today's lesson. I place the future in the hands of God. It's a great pattern interrupt to help you to let go of the ego and desires and expectations and fears and just surrender to this deeper presence. So I hope this meditation has helped you do that. And the session brings us to the end of the session. Just a quick look ahead to tonight. If you want to join me for the masterclass, it's happening at 7 p.m. your time, Katie, 6 p.m. UK time. And feel free to invite anyone who you think might be interested in this program and the Art of Letting Go course to join. I hope to see you later.
John, did you say 7 o'clock UK time?
No, 6 p.m. UK, 7 p.m. German time. So feel free to join if you'd like to. It'll give you a little overview of what the course is about again. And again, if there's anyone you think might be interested, please refer them. So I'll see you then or tomorrow, same time.
And the masterclass is about, isn't that about what your program is about?
Yes, yeah, it's about the course and the program. So you've done it. You don't have to do it
I've
again.
done it. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah. If you want to, we'll do a meditation as well, and there's a teaching in the first half an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay, yeah, then I could join.
You're most welcome to join if you want.
Yeah, the other information I only got. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the same login link. Just use the same link to log in, and maybe I'll see you a bit later, Katie. Sue and John, yeah, no obligation, but if you'd like to join us, it'd be great actually if you're there in person, because I'll ask you to give a little testimonial. Well, that's probably scared you away, but
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll probably see you tomorrow then. Same time.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you,
Okay.
John.
Namaste, everyone.
John. Bye.
Okay. Bye for now.